Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Real Estate with Ryan. Thank you for staying tuned and tuning in on a Saturday. Nothing better than a Saturday talking a little real estate and being with you guys. Hope you're having an amazing weekend, start to a Saturday. And we've got a great show for you with Real Estate with Ryan. I figured the spring market's here. Of course, you wouldn't know it with the weather. A little bit chilly the other day, but weather's changing. I think we even say we might get snow in the Smokies. Middle of March. Snow in the Smokies? What is going on? Welcome to East Tennessee weather. That's the truth, right? But the housing market is picking up. Very busy where we're at. And I really wanted to focus on buyers today. I got a great show for you. So we got 21 best kept secrets on buying a home in 2025. I want to talk about some of these tips that maybe you know, maybe you don't know. Some of them are real estate hacks, agent insider stuff, things that you may know. But again, remember, the average person buys a home every 5 to 7 years or longer, some a couple in their lifetime. And these are great tips that will help you as the market's changed here in 2025. So kind of hard to believe, 2025. How about you guys? Thinking 2025, does that sounds like 24 is just days ago, but that's how quickly the first quarter is almost coming to an end. Real estate market's a little sluggish first quarters, January and February. But we're seeing sales pick up a little bit. Inventory's down. And, of course, the interest rates are all over the board. But we had a little bit of improvement the other day, which will hopefully help the housing market. Before we get started, as always, we got some congrats, new listings, and very, very busy over here at Hometown. Got a new listing that just listed the other day on Old Lee Highway, 809 Old Lee Highway in Philadelphia. New listings hitting the market. Next week will be 443 Little Tater Valley Road in Luttrell. Of course, we got a great new listing, great building lot over there on Black Powder Court in Wallen. So 227 Black Powder Court in Wallen. Congrats to our great seller in the Smokies, 704 Blueberry Ridge Way in Pigeon Forge. And congrats to our great seller, 825 Deep Cove Lane, waterfront property in Lenoir City. That just closed this week, so super congrats for her. Went relatively quickly, a couple weeks, so that was exciting. Let's see what else is going on. If you're tuning in for the first time, as always, my name is Ryan Coleman, owner, founder of Hometown Realty, and we do this little show called Real Estate with Ryan. I've been doing it for a long time, and we talk about real estate in East Tennessee, why it's probably the best place to raise a family, relocate, and obviously retire. A lot of my great seniors retire, come to East Tennessee, and it's just a great place to live. And so we do this show to kind of help you really understand what we do and how we can be of service to you, and also give you some great tips on buying, selling, investing, and of course just navigate this crazy real estate market. If you're tuning in on Saturday, make sure you can check us out, obviously, on our great station, News Talk 98.7, 1 o'clock. We're airing there live every Saturday. And our partners over at Talk Radio 92.3 FM, 11 a.m., and you can also catch this on their Facebook app, streaming live. You'll see our radio show live there. Make sure you check us out. Of course, we're everywhere from Facebooks to X to Instagram to YouTube. You name it, we're there. Spotify, iTunes. In case you happen to miss Real Estate with Ryan, we've got you covered. So let's jump into our show. We got a lot of topics to cover, a lot of points to go over. And so one of the biggest things in moving forward, and I think buying this year is a very big advantage for buyers. The market is probably better than we've seen in the last 24 months, where buyers now have an opportunity that they didn't 2 years ago. There was uncertainty in the marketplace in 23, and that led to sales decline. But 24 was a little bit all over the place. But this year, with interest rates moving a little bit downward, inventory setting a little bit longer on the market, I think I just did our newsletter out to our great clients that we had an average about 2 months on the market, a Knoxville housing market. And that's a little bit longer than we've seen in a while. One of the things we want to focus on if you're buying, the most important, as always, will be focusing now, number one, to fit in your monthly comfort zone. How important is being comfortable on your payment? Helping a great couple that owns a home, and we sold theirs, buying a new one, top of the budget, and making sure we're comfortable in that price range. And it's hard. We got a lot of moving parts. There have been real good stewards with their money and had some savings and reserves. But no matter how much we have saved in reserves, it seems like there's always something else that's going to pop in there. So one of the most important things you can do is know what your budget is. And obviously stay comfortable with that. Know that monthly payment. Try not to go above it. Just because you're pre-approved for $500,000 may not mean you need to go to $500,000. Obviously, the old saying, you don't want to be house poor. You don't want to get in there. I talk about this several times. When I first started real estate, I didn't know any better. And so I got involved in real estate. It was one of our bigger houses that I had. I was like, oh, this is beautiful and a great subdivision. And so I was just excited to get the listing. I needless, probably didn't even know how to fill out the paperwork at the time. I was so green, but I was just excited to have this beautiful new listing. And but I was curious. Like I said, I was a rookie in the business, and I went into the property, and fairly young, guys. I mean, I started in, right out of college, like 21 years old or something. I started real estate, and so I didn't know much about life, nor did I know much about the house. So I didn't know. I went in the house, and I was like, there's no furniture in here. I mean, it was limited furniture. It was probably 3,000 square feet. And needless to say, we were selling it because I think the price was just too much for him. The payment was too much. He went over budget, unfortunately, and we were able to help him get it sold. But that was a perfect thing comes to me now is like that's house poor, where you've got the big house and you can't put furniture in it. And so we don't want that. We don't want to see house poor moving forward. So make sure we stay within our budget and work closely with our lender to make sure we're getting our payments where we want to be. 2, as a buyer moving forward, understand now that as a first-time buyer, we've probably got more incentives on grant money, interest-low loans. We have 2 or 3 one-year buy-downs. Not that those are anything special, but there's options on the table, especially if you're new into a job and expect your income moving up, that those are opportunities that can be there to only make housing more affordable for you. And then down payment assistance, those are opportunities there that people don't really look at. So down payment assistance is in certain areas, certain requirements, and has certain incomes that are a factor. So make sure you check those out. And this is should be number 1. Make sure you get with a great agent because they're going to walk you through all these things. Down payment assistance, where to go. Each county has a certain amount of grants in the localities that, guess what, they're not advertising on their website. So these are things that you need to know that if you can tap into them, that could be great money or money that would be helped affordable for you on your first purchase, if it's your first purchase. Number 3, let's negotiate concessions from a seller. Well, today, we're all about negotiating, but just don't assume sellers won't negotiate. Just because we have a list price or we went back and forth over multiple things on the offer doesn't mean that the sellers won't negotiate at all. In reality, once the seller gets the home sold, they're locked in. They've got moving plans. They got things in their mind. We're moving forward. And then we get the inspection, or then we have some concessions that come up. And so sometimes, unfortunately, that's what I say, hey, guys, a lot of my colleagues out there, real estate is one of the most challenging businesses. And I say it's most challenging because it's a people business, right? Anybody, and you guys out there deal with people, know how challenging it is. My team knows that, and we got some of the best guys that we work here with, and my team really cares about our clients. But it is challenging by no atmosphere that it's not. And great seller I was working with talking last night, he said, Ryan, I really don't know how you do this thing. He goes, because we're stressed beyond maxed. And he goes, you got 20 or 30 of these going on? He goes, how do you deal with it? I said, well, not always easy, but we all got blessed with certain giftings. And so, that's the calm in the storm. Really moving forward is that calm in a storm where you're hiring a team that can help you walk through this process and also not lose your wit about the whole process and not lose the deal. A lot of times we get frustrated and emotions get involved. And so when we're moving forward on this, know those concessions are going to come up. Know that the seller hopefully is going to meet with you or work with you in some of those items, but just know that you have a possibility now to negotiate. Concessions, some of those concessions could be closing cost, repairs, solar, different things like that may be an important factor moving forward. Always finding a great agent moving forward that has a good reputation in the marketplace and has experience. There's a lot of great agents in our marketplace. There's a lot of great new agents. I was one once. Always remember that, like I said early on. But as we move forward, as the market shifts, you got to put your best team in play. Encourage you. If you're buying, guess what? A lot of things have changed since August. You want an agent that's going to have a consultation with you that can tell you and lead you from start to finish, talk about commissions, fees, expenses that may come up, and be able to handle everything all the way to closing. And then number 5 is line up your financing. We'll talk about that as we're going into the break, making sure that you're set up for success. So we got the second half of Real Estate with Ryan. Stay with us. We got more on the second half of Real Estate with Ryan.
Knoxville and East Tennessee. The region is known for its rolling hills, rivers, and lakes. There's no better place to work, live, or raise a family. Home is where your story begins. Buying or selling your home is a big decision, and you need a real estate team you can trust.
I'm Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty, your hometown experts. Whether you're buying or selling a home, let us develop a winning game plan for you.
Hometown Realty is East Tennessee's #1 real estate group and a proud sponsor of the Vols.
I'm Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty. The real estate market's changing every day. You need to know your home's value in today's market. Text your home address to 290-2290 for an instant, no obligation home evaluation. That's 865-290-2290. And remember, when you're ready to sell, we have a guaranteed sale program to get you in your next home stress-free. Trust your hometown experts. We've helped thousands of people just like you. All right, we're back at it, Real Estate with Ryan. Second half. Thank you for staying tuned. And if you're tuning in for the first time, you're catching us on the second half, Real Estate with Ryan. We're talking about buyer tips, agent inside secrets that you need to know for 2025. Thought these are important as we're going into the spring season. Our spring market, as you know, is the busiest time of the year leading into the summer. Hard to say summer right around the corner where the kiddos, as I was talking to a client last night that were listing in Andersonville, and I said, it's hard to believe that now spring's here and buyers are now looking to relocate, and lock in their school zones for the kiddos for the following next year. It's hard to fathom that. And a lot of teachers got back from spring break and realized that they're halfway done with the season and that school to the end is almost here. I really don't know where time is going. Daughter's in 4th grade, little man's pre-K, and he'll be kindergarten next year. So I don't know. I would say this on the radio. Everybody enjoy the moment. Take time. Spend that quality time because it's going quick. And let's enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment. So we're talking about, before we get back on the show, let's do a real quick 60-second Vol update because the Vols are in the news. It's March, and it's March Madness. All right, 60-second Vol update. Drum roll, please. March Madness is officially upon us. Hard to believe. Vols' big win yesterday. Had a chance to watch them. Several of Kinsley's teammates went up there to Kentucky to watch the game. So, big game coming up. I think we're playing UCLA. If I watched that right the other night. And then, of course, the Lady Vols play Friday. So, it's March Madness. Let's root them on. Big season. We hope the Vols go far in the dance, along with the Lady Vols. Men, baseball team off to an amazing start. Had a tough loss the other day, but still think we're #1 in the country. So root the Vols on if you have a chance. Get to a game. A lot of improvements. A lot of things being done there at the stadium. So that's my Vol update. Thank you guys for following us. As you know, as always, Hometown Realty, proud sponsor of the Vols. Go Big Orange. March Madness is excitement. Didn't have a chance to watch too many games. How about you guys? Hope you watched a bunch and get a chance to catch a couple in maybe this weekend. All right, we're talking about on the first section, lining up financing is important. Number 5, lining up financing, preparing for an offer. Just as much as we do this show for an agent, right? Having a great agent in your corner. You want to have a great lender in your corner. I think probably one of the biggest things that I could ever say as a buyer, because I've been there before, one of the most important things that I would recommend is having a lender that will pick up the phone. That sounds silly, but having a lender that will communicate with you, especially if it's a first-time buy. You're new, you don't know these things, somebody that will communicate, walk with you. I know in today's, day and age, they were saying something the other day. I don't know. I'm not good with the millennials and this generation, but let's just say the younger folks, a little bit younger than I am. They said that most of those kids never pick up the phone and are having to have classes on phone skills that they're just used to texting. And I really immediately thought to my daughter going, see, Daddy's going to work on communication skills. Got to work on communication skills. Is that wild? But when we go back to communication skills, that's so important as if you're buying a loan, buying a home with getting a new loan. You may not know. Maybe your parents told you a little bit about it. Maybe they don't know. Maybe you're just new at it. Maybe you've bought a couple times, but you just kind of go through the motions, kind of sign the paperwork, really didn't understand it. Having a lender that will sit down with you face to face, have that relationship, I think it's big. You're making one of the largest investments you're ever going to make in your life. And if you look at the numbers, if you buy a $500,000 house and you really understand it, you're going to finance that. If you happen to finance it 15 or 30, if you finance it for 30 years, you pay double. You're paying over $1 million for that house if you pay all that interest out. Now, we don't want you to do that. We're always going to recommend getting a 15-year mortgage. But with today's economy and house prices, that may just not be doable. And so these are things that you want to think about, really understanding what is an APR? What's the interest rate? What's a buy rate? What's par? What are these things? What are closing costs, down payment? What's credit score need to be? Can we blend our credit score? My wife has this, you have this. Can we use the better one? All these are so important. And if you rush out, as a lot of people do, and they start looking at houses, get excited, only to find that they have to be brought back to reality. And after a couple of times, you get frustrated. And we don't want you to lose, your chance of home ownership, especially if you're a first-time buyer. But more importantly, if you're a seasoned buyer, you say, I got this, Ryan. I've done it a time or two. But you haven't watched this market in 2025 and what's going on, interest rates and where we're at. So the rate can be a shock. The process could be a shock. As you know, the interest rates have changed. Guess what also changes? Lending guidelines change. So get with an agent, get with a great lender, have that face-to-face meeting. You could Zoom it. You can chat it some kind of way, but do that. It's so important. And it will set the whole process up for you seamless. We've got a lot of these lenders and online lenders, but we're a big advocate of local here. Local, and we can step in their office. You can meet them at Starbucks or whatever, have a cup of coffee, and that relationship's important because it's a big move. And once you have that relationship, hopefully you can, just like us, we have clients for years. Hey, Ryan, I need to sell this house, or my daughter needs to sell this one. They don't have to shop. They don't have to wonder what they're going to get. They already know the experience. And so that's why we do this show as well, to kind of help you guys so that we can take a lot of that emotion out of the moves, okay? When you're buying, considering different types of home, different types of properties, even considering new construction. If you're considering new construction, remember that all homes are not created equal. We recommend you check the builders' reputations, projects that they've done. Just had a horror story with some clients at high-end property that we sold, a high-end neighborhood. Won't mention any names or anything like that, but they're purchasing out in Maryville. And it was an absolute disaster. Custom home builder. You may see a billboard out about them or et cetera, et cetera. And they told me the name, and I was shocked who was doing it. And it was just, they ended up carrying over 1 year of interest. I think that it's in excess of $100,000 they paid on the builder's mistakes. And the contracts were such that the builder had them pretty much with no options, right? No options. So it was one-sided deal, one-sided agreement. I mean, they had to tap into savings. Essentially, we're going to go out and have to sell a property for them, a piece of land, of all the excess money that they spent over budget because of the builder. It got so bad that the builders had to get somebody from out of state to come here and manage the job, and they fired a lot of their subs and superintendents. So if you're going to hire new construction, if you're going to do a custom build, make sure you check the builder's reputation. Check the other projects. And I'd probably say the number one thing you want to do if you're going to do a custom build, make sure you get a great lawyer, My lawyer's Terry Adams over at Adams Law Firm. He does a great job. Got some great lawyers there as well. There's no plug for Terry, my guy. But, I mean, get a great lawyer or somebody in town that can help you with that language. You know, a lot of our big purchase stuff and things that we've done, we want to make sure that before you go into that you have them go through that language. Because if you don't do it on the front end, you could be like our customers or our clients paying over a year of interest. Everything's negotiable. It's all in writing. You know, a great attorney friend of mine, he told me, Ryan, just because they give you a pre-printed form doesn't mean you can't change it. Everything's negotiable. And so make sure you structure that deal going in to know exactly what your obligations and things are. Understand when we're looking for homes, compromise features, neighborhoods, benefits. What's most important? What do they say about real estate, guys? Location, location, location. But some expectations you have to understand that you may not get in your search. So keep that compromise open and understand that one location you may be buying locations, schools. Other may have more house for your money. Keep those things on. Keep an eye out for homes that are lingering on the market. First homes listed in the market, they usually generate a lot of excitement. But as they sit on the market for a while, there's opportunities. Could be poor photos, poor marketing, could be overpriced, could be a combination of things. Look at homes that are on the market for an opportunity for a bargain that other people may have not looked at, right? Be aware of potential hidden cost, rules, ordinances. If you're moving to a new state, just because it seems affordable doesn't mean it is. There may be hidden fees in the back ends. Condos are huge, reserves, special assessments. We'll talk about that, special assessments. Let's see, before we close out the show, always, if you're looking for a property, bring a contractor. You can do a home inspection, get the experts out there. If there's some items on there that you want to look at, make sure you check in, bring your inspector, bring a contractor, get a second price before you get into something that could put you over budget. And connect with your agent on all your negotiations and trust their advice. It may not be what you want to hear, but trust their advice. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Love spending time with you. We'll look forward to seeing you back next weekend with Real Estate with Ryan. Have an amazing weekend.